Hi, I'm Amanda Yallop.
And I'm Huon Hooke.
And this is The Real Review. The wine we're tasting today is the Devaux Cuvée D Brut non-vintage.
So this is a really interesting wine. It doesn't come from the classic areas of Champagne, which are Montagne de Reims, Vallée de la Marne and Côte des Blancs. It comes from a region which is further south and separate from those other regions called the Aube, or the Côte des Bars. And there are a lot of Pinot Noir vineyards there. Pinot Noir is the main event. It's actually closer to Chablis than it is to Reims, so it has quite a lot in common with the Chablis area geologically. But the interesting thing about this wine is it's from a cooperative, and it's a very big cooperative. They have hundreds of growers, probably thousands of growers, and they select about the top 10% perhaps of the best fruit for their own wines. The rest of it they sell, and this cooperative sells a lot of juice to other big companies up further north. And what they keep for themselves is a tiny percentage, and the Cuvée D is their premium selection of wines, and there are about 3 or 4 wines in the group. This is the non-vintage, aged for 5 years, and it even says on the label here, aged 5 years. So we don't know what the base year is. It was probably about 2014, 5 years on lees after bottling, and then it comes to us in Australia. So it's probably about that vintage would be the base. And it's 60-40% Pinot Noir Chardonnay, so they're generally quite strongly Pinot-based wines. They use a little bit of oak occasionally, especially in the D range of wines, maybe 10 to 12% oak, and quite a lot of reserve wines, 40%.
I think this is quite a rich wine. It is dominant in Pinot Noir, so it has a little bit more body. It's complex. It has this lovely sort of legacy on the palate. For me, it's the texture on the palate. A little bit of mushrooms, stone fruit. You do get that traditional meringue that you would expect with champagne. Also that lovely sort of grilled nuts. For me, it's that mushroomy sort of note. It's quite light, but it's there.
Well, this to me ticks the boxes. I could drink a lot of this wine, a dangerous amount of this wine. It's got freshness and vitality on the palate, but it's also got richness and mouth-filling properties, and there's complexity there. Partly to do with, I think, quite a bit of age and some oak involved in it, lots of Pinot Noir. It's a wine that you don't get bored with, and I could sit and happily drink a few glasses of that.
I think you could have it with or without food, just because of that lovely sort of richness. I mean, this is the sort of champagne I would have with bread and butter. I think it's excellent. We rated, it was number 20 out of 139 wines. It actually received 95 out of 100, which is a rock star rating. I mean, this is champagne, so you expect to sort of pay a premium when you're getting a champagne, but of this quality, I'd be happy to pay it.
Me too. I think it's worth it.
So this is a top rank wine. It's, being number 20 out of 139 makes it the top rank. Pretty exciting.
So the food match for this wine is lobster bisque with crab ravioli and crisp bread. Sounds terrific to me. There's an alternative here. The winery has also suggested duck foie gras with smoked duck breast and raspberry vinegar. So they're saying that a wine of this body and this weight and this richness is even possible to put it with poultry like duck. It's quite a lot of flavour in duck and foie gras, isn't it?
It absolutely is, and I would definitely go with the duck. The red wine vinegar is a bit scary for me because I think vinegar and wine they're not best friends. But I think you can definitely have some sort of poultry. You could have pork, you'd have chicken. I think seafood is a classic sort of match. Bread and butter is fantastic. I love the way that they said crisp bread, but they didn't throw in olive oil or butter. I mean, I think when you look at, you could have anything deep fried with this salt and pepper squid, as long as it wasn't too spicy. Just because of that richness and the acidity, I think it really does break it down. And I think there's a lot of flexibility to food and wine matching. So, freestyle, you don't have to stick to the rules. It's great to have suggestions, but it's also great to make up your own game. Absolutely.
So champagne can also go with red meat. Cheers to that.
Cheers.